You're not factoring intros, I do not like doing them. Good day, guys. I am here to say a few things before I get into the what if part. First of all, thank you for the people that have subscribed to my channel, liked my content, and put out the very supportive comments. It means the world to me because, hey, I'm just a guy doing this for shit for fun. I do not expect people to want to subscribe or like my content, but people do, and that's what makes them truly heroes. Because we doing creative shit is hard. It's hard to wrap my brain around sometimes that I do this kind of stuff just for fun and as a hobby. Um, yeah, I might be new to it, but I'm not. I'm certainly new to just gratification for what I do, and yeah, it makes the effort all well worth it. But I digress. I just want to say thank you very much for supporting me so far, and please be patient with me. I'm very new, so I'm prone to making mistakes. Those who have watched the live stream slash podcast that I did with Crown Fiend, the one and only, um, on my channel. Uh, Props up if you did. Not many people did actually watch it. But I suggest just go check it out as well because we do talk about a few things, especially with well, me starting with the whole what if thing. But anyway, this it's getting kind of long, and I'm pretty sure people are getting impatient with me. But again, just want to say thank you. Please bear with me. I might not upload as quickly and as frequently as other people like Ground Fiend or Hollow because they don't do stuff scripted, and I'm trying not to do scripted because well, it takes a lot of time, but sometimes I'm a bit worn out, so I just like to read. Anyway, um, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. We return to a boy and his father sitting in the middle of a hotel room, the father looking quite complexed, and the young Izuku even more so trying to explain his dire situation. So, you're telling me that the story I used to tell you as a child is real? Y- yes. Can Horace, can you explain? Young master, really thought that it should be simple enough to say that jinns are real. Hasn't history got this recorded anywhere? You are thousands of years old. I doubt people are gonna still have books of you. Fair point. The modern era is truly a strange one. Hisashi, after hearing the Horace speaking into his own out just out of nowhere, and had a befuddled look upon him. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that he does that. Please don't be alarmed. He's very friendly, and well, here's one that kind of saved my life. Your son is quite an interesting young boy. I have never seen someone such kindness, and I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, Isashi. Wait, how do you know my name? I can see all through truth and through deception. I see what others do not, and I bear the flames of judgment upon them. In short, I can see the information I want to see, such as your name. But I digress. Young Izuku had awoken me from my long eternal slumber. Merely 3,000 years ago, I was but a jinn residing within the ancient temple. I think you call them the pyramids now. After such long times, I soon forget who I am and where the place I was originally from. The the man and Izuku looked kind of disheartened at that. This Jin, who, yes, is full of powers and is a mystical being, but has emotions all the same. Well, I I'm just glad you helped my son. I am forever grateful. Oh no. I should be great. I am grateful to Zuko here. He, with his generosity, he allowed me to travel with him. I, he wanted to show me the world and stop me from wasting away to the willows of time. Well, my boy has always been a bit of a shining star in that aspect. Izuku, after hearing this, had a giant smile plastered across his face. So, I guess I should clarify a few things beforehand. So, you're not the last Jin. No, I am not. There are many others like me. I can sense them within this world. I don't. My memory is hazy, so the places and islands that used to be are now gone. From what I see on the ancient map, you don't even have Sindria on the borders anymore. Most people would, I think in your generation, you might call Sindria Atlantis. Wait, so you're saying that Sindria is Atlantis? Yes, from what I can interpret. It was the power of jinns and humans working together that that island nation was formed. And along with that drunkard Sinbad, but I shall digress. Wait, Sinbad is real? Hisashi just can barely contain his time and starts jumping up around. The legend's true. I never thought I'd see the day. I loved I love that story so much, and as you know, my poor boy grew to adore heroes because of it. But less about me and my personal hobbies, but more about the important things here again. So there are other Djinns roaming across the world, and you don't know exactly where they are, but you only know they are here. Does that mean that dark Djinns are also real? I'm quite afraid so. Dark Djinns were also part of the long-standing, well, feud and chaos that sought the ancient times. While having a befuddled look and just utter shock, Hisashi and Midoriya just couldn't believe that something so sinister in those ancient legends actually existed. But they aren't here now, are they? From what I've been told, or what I can remember, the Dark Djinns have been put at bay for now. For now. Yes, they are. While they have been fought in the past by heroes and the King Sinbad, they were fought off, doesn't mean that they were completely destroyed or they had vanished. Their mystical energy was just dispersed. It would take thousands of years for them to regain their form. It doesn't mean that it isn't so that they shall not return. That's why I implore you, use my power. I must make you the ideal and strengthened host to bear my powers and seek out these other Djinns. Wait, wait, you want me to fight against these dark Djinns? Yes, young Izuku. I want you, my my champion, to go out and seek the other lost Djinns, gain their power, and then, when the time shall arise, defeat the Dark Djinn. I don't know if I can. Hisashi, putting a hand on his shoulder, says, "Son, I've always believed that you can be a hero, and, well, Sinbad was the king of heroes back in his time because he fought he fought off these evil forces. I guess you're right. Young Midoriya, you wanted to become a hero. I'll lend you my power. I can train you, but you must also learn for yourself how to handle my power. We we Jinns, we only lend you our power. We do not fully understand how one of a mortal vessel can wield it or distribute it. I see. So it's sort of like a quirk you're bestowing upon me. From what you've told me about your society, I guess that's the best way of putting it. When you're inside the Jinn equip, you can manipulate fire and able to put up a field where you can detect any lies or malice intent from within 100-foot radius. And that even applies, well, the power is still there even when you're not equipped. It's just like you can bring out your full potential when you're inside the Jinn equip. I see. Midoriya moves out his hand and focuses a flame, and after a few seconds of focusing, a flame erupts from his hands as he quickly pats it out. Ah, hot, hot, hot. Yes, young Midoriya, while you have while you have access to my power, you need to learn to control it, not to hurt yourself. We can offer I can offer you protection from your own powers, but that only extends so far. So I want you to learn and study this power and become one with it. Only then will you be right to search for the other Jinns. I I see. Well, thank you once again. Alright, young Midoriya, I shall rest for now. After all, distributing my power takes a lot out of me. Wait, you get tired? While I am a divine being, I am still living. There is a limit to how much power I can distribute. Forming the bond took out most of it. That flame manipulation earlier was just a spark of my power. So, I'll best be careful with how you use the full extent. I shall leave it in your hands now, Midoriya. Yes, Horace. After after that whole conversation between the Jinn and the two men who looked dazzled by the prospect of heroes, ancient mythology and legends, they turned to each other with just jitters of glee shining from their face. I, I'm so happy. You can finally become a hero and fulfill your dream. I know. It's all because you believed in me. All because well, all because you encouraged me to be who I am. You brought me here, and I found, I found my calling. Thanks, Dad. After Hisashi pulls Izuku into a teary hug, they both wipe the tears from their eyes. Ah, well, I guess we should rest up. Well, we still have a we still have a few days of hard work ahead of us. As over the next few days, the pair go back to the ruins and explore the rest of the corridors and hidden room of, well, the hidden shrine that has been uncovered by Izuku's heroic actions. and the unfortunate of, well, the unfortunate collapsing of the floor, who endangered that poor boy's life. They discover the hieroglyphics on the wall are quite strange, bowing to your god, and Hisashi, knowing who it obviously is, decides to make up that it is they must be praying to a deity. Like Horus is what some of the hieroglyphics say. The rest of the archaeologists following within their expedition are just awestruck at the chambers. At the end of the corridor that was uncovered, there was a room full of treasured and valuable wares. As they were towing out all of the valuable and ancient relics, Hisashi noticed one peculiar looking item shining on the floor. He picked it up and dusted it off. It was quite weird. It was a golden ring, but it seemed to be of an ancient design, but he didn't want to let it go for some reason. It seemed a waste to put it in a museum. So he slipped it into his pocket while nobody was looking. And then, as they were identifying some of the artifacts, old urns, old staffs, ancient relics of the past that belonged to the pharaoh himself, now in the hands of all three of them, Lewis, Hisashi, and Midoriya. Quite an exciting adventure this had led them to. All three of them had a big wide smile, and well, after they had gone and packed up for the night, they decided, well, let's go out for a drink. Okay. Let's go. I know a good few places. Hisashi was very giddy to just go and celebrate his latest expedition's finding. And as Hisashi was grabbing a few beers and having a bit of a nag at Lewis, he couldn't help but just keep smiling throughout the night, as well as Izuku. He was just sipping on his apple juice while the rest of the adults were, well, having their fun. He could see the happiness in everybody's eyes and how giddy they were to have such a big discovery. They'll make headlines all over the world. He thought, just like my dad, he always seems to have something new and exciting around the corner every turn he makes. I can't wait to tell Mum all about this. Oh, but I might want to not tell her about falling into that pit. She would kill me if the fall didn't. After the expedition had slowly come to an end and they had all packed up the site and decided to leave Cairo, Hisashi and Midoriya pack up their bags and start heading home. See, my work isn't so boring to, like how Mother sees it. Dad, you know I always love archaeology. I wouldn't find it boring even if it was just watching paint dry on ancient relics. I guess that is true. It wasn't just the heroes you learned, it was all the, well, it was all the cultures. No wonder your mother and I your mother sees so much of you and me, have such similarities. Well, I guess that is to be expected after all. He rattles his head and's like, okay. Ready to go home, kiddo. I sure am, the boy excitedly replied. Oh man, we're gonna have so much to talk about. We're gonna have a big feast when we get home. Wait, can I have udon? I've been starving for some udon. Izuku said with a big smile. Sure, whatever you want, kiddo. Let's just hope I can get your mother to make it for us. But, you know her. She never says no. And so the pair fly back in their plans. And as they return home to Japan and make their way back to the front door, Hisashi can't wait to reunite with his lovely wife. Knocks on the door excitedly and like a giddy child. Hisashi, how many times have I told you? Stop banging on the door repeatedly. You're gonna wake the neighbors up. Sorry. I was just excited to be home again. I know, honey. Ah, Izuku. Wow. You look a bit roughed up. We need to get you into a shower. I'm sure the expedition was fun. I'm sure you got tons of stories to tell me. Izuku reaches into his back pocket and pulls out a clipped out news article. Oh, we sure do. And shows Inko the picture of David and, well, sorry, not David, Lewis and the pair standing in front of a bunch of ancient relics with a headline that states ancient passage found in the Pyramid of Giza and the team behind it. Oh wow. I guess you really did find something interesting. I wonder if they're gonna give you a bonus, Sasashi, this time. My bosses are good for it, you know. Enough for a good anniversary present, after all. Oh, you, stop it. That isn't a month away. Well, that means I got a month to find out how to spoil my wife. Izuku, a bit awkward at the conversation, decides to slip past the two lovebirds and head back upstairs, and goes and has a shower before collapsing onto his bed and falling asleep. Izuku, are you still awake? I am now. Sorry, kiddo. I just thought you might want some food. Oh. His belly rumbles. Right as Hisashi says so. Well, I guess I came right in time. Come on, we got your favorite. Udon. Ah, sweet. As the family enjoys a big night celebrating and eating after the big flight and big adventure the Midoriya boys had, they decide to tell Inko about how Midoriya saved Lewis from falling into a hole by tackling him out the way. But thankfully they left out the part of Izuku falling down the hole instead. After a shock expression grew upon Inko's face. Now, dear, nothing bad happened. Hey, he scraped his knee at the most, and he was back and ready to, well, kick. I guess. There is no. I can't have a pun here, can I? He chuckles to himself. No, you're not getting me with a damn pun this time. Yeah, I would have hit you. And, you're not that funny. I didn't marry you because you're comedy. I know, dear. I just like to snip in a joke or two. Yes, yes, so I've known. But after the night of celebrating, Izuku now has 10 months to figure out how he can improve upon Horus's power and how to gain a bearing of the Jin equipment, learn to control it. He was figuring out ways he could possibly train his body. Hisashi said, "Hey, if you're looking for ways to train, why not clear out that beach? I think it was called Dagobah Beach. Why don't you try clearing that out? It's full of rubbish. I'm sure they'll allow you to use your quirk, if you're just clearing out the rubbish." Oh yeah, um, oh yeah, I can do that, he thought to himself. I says, "Okay, I will. I'll look into it more. If you want, I can contact the city council." "I don't think that'd be necessary. I can do that myself." "Alright, but don't go causing a fire." "Yes, I know." So, Izuku heads over to Dagobah Beach, and over the course of 6 months, he gains the ability to control the temperature of his flames and how much he can disperse at once. So he decides to test it out on some of the garbage, incinerating a lot of them into piles of ash, and some just melting them down. Over the many hardships of trying to control the flame, he's now achieved a novice level of practice at it. He's nowhere near to mastering where he needs to be, but he can at least assure that he won't kill somebody. Maybe leave him with a burn, but nothing that they can't heal. But he sensed something as he was training one day. A old-looking man was watching him. He could feel it when he was trying to see if he could activate his power of malice and truth. He wanted to activate it, and he could sense the man watching him. He couldn't feel malice coming from him, but he just couldn't figure out why he was staring. However, he decided to go ask the man if he needed something. "Young man, what is your quirk? It's quite interesting." Um, my my quirk allows me to transform and be able to fly using fire, and I'm able to see into some people's minds. I can also control fire in a sense. That's how I'm able to fly using my transformation." "Oh, so you can fly, can you? That's great. You know, I in my heyday I could fly all the time without having to touch the ground." "Oh? Do you have a flying quirk?" "No, I got a quirk called jets." "Wait, jets? You're Gran Torino!" "Ah, you caught me." "But what? I thought you worked in Hosu." "No, no, no. This old man has to take a break once in a while. I was having to walk around the area. I heard this beach was very Well, I heard it was clean online, but these youngins nowadays just bring out trash and fill the beach with it. But I saw something curious that caught my eye. You, you, you were cleaning up the trash, but it wasn't that caught my attention. It was your power. You seem to trans, like, your 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 power just didn't match. It's very odd. I've been told that. If you don't mind me asking, what's your parents' quirks? My dad can breathe fire, and my mum can levitate small objects towards her. Hmm, that's very unusual. Yeah, I've been told that it was a random mutation, that the fire and the levitation, um, well, well, of small objects merged into one, and then developed into something different. Izuku quickly thinking on his feet of trying not to reveal who Horace was and what his powers are. I see. Well, please keep on practicing. I One of my apprentices is working at UA. I think you might know him very well. Oh, is he a pro hero? Ah, you could say that. He's the number one pro hero, actually. Wait, number. Wait, you trained All Might? I did. I used to beat that boy until he was black and blue. I gave him his stripes. He's still trying to find. Still trying to find that damn. Trying to chase after that Nana. Oh, sorry. Excuse my rambling. Sorry to stop you during the middle of your training. Are you planning to apply? So I assume you're planning to apply for UA. Yes, that's right. Well, I wish you luck in your future endeavors. Why, thank you. After the man had left, Yusuke went back to his training, but had a realization after meeting Gran Torino. His quirk, Jets, allows him to push oxygen from his lungs out through his feet, making him have super speed and be able to fly. What if I use my flames to increase my speed while flying? So Izuku spent the rest of his 4 months trying to develop the power of the flames and develop a technique that allows him to fly a lot faster. After the 10 months were done, he plans to he was planning on leaving a bit early in the morning to head to the entrance exams. But before he left, his father, well, Hisashi, called him out the door and gave him a big smile and thumbs up and says, "I don't want to hear anything less than a perfect show of skill. And you better get in. I believe in you." Throwing a throwing a thumbs up back at his dad and a confident smile, he walks out the door. As he arrives at UA, he sees the big gates and is a bit shocked at first at, well, how massive the school is. He's only seen it on TV before. He couldn't quite fathom that. He heard a familiar voice from behind him call out, "Ah, if it isn't this shitty nerd." After after the entrance exams, I'll teach you what happens when you don't listen to me. It was Bakugo. He was as hot-headed as ever. Izuku thought. He just turned around and walked away. Bakugo, just getting pissed, started shouting at him, but then just went inside. Izuku did not trip in this story this time, because he was more confident. He had more confidence in himself and in his power. So, he goes to the written portion of the exam. He was a grade A student in middle school, because he thought what he lacked in a quirk, he could make up in intelligence. He could try and outwit everybody else who had a quirk, even though people told him that he was just being stupid. He was always academic, so he passed by the tests very quickly and being one of the first to finish. Very confident in what he got, he had his head held high. And during the second part of the exam, President Mike had explained to the students that there were four robots in this mock simulation of a city joint. That there was 4 different types of robots. A 0-point robot which you should just run away from, a 1-point robot, a 2-point robot, and a 3-point robot. His goal was to try and gain 60 points or so, but he reckoned that would be enough to score him into the hero course. So, as he was getting ready to head to the exam, he saw a very strange girl. She had crimson pinkish hair and red eyes. Very pale, but she seemed rather calm. She's quite cute. He didn't know why he said that, he just did. As he went to go walk up to wish her luck, he was stopped by a blue-haired boy in glasses. Are you trying to ruin her chances by breaking her focus? If so, that's not very hero-like. But I was just... Heroes must not deter others from what they are trying to do. Izuku, fought back in his words, saying, "Excuse me, I was just going to go wish her luck, not to unnerve her. Now, if you don't mind, you seem to be disturbing me from what I want to do, so you don't have much of an argument." And brushes Ida off. As he was reaching the gate, he felt something weird. As President Mike told him go, as President Mike got on stage and was letting him know about the rules, he felt a weird pulse. It only happened from the pendant. A lie? But what is he lying about? Horace spoke to him in his head. The test starts now. He wants you to go. Izuku rushes out from the start, and everybody just wondering, what is he doing? He's gonna get it disqualified. Getting about 30 seconds in and coming into contact with the first robots. President Mike followed up, "Well, go! there isn't a countdown in a real battle. He was, well, very insistent and quite shocked that these people just didn't understand how heroes work. They thought it was all tests and numbers. After the bottleneck of the first participant's breakthrough to where Izuku was, he'd already started smashing some of the robots with his fists alone. And then he started shooting fire towards the robots. People were quite intrigued. Wait, he has a super strength quirk and a fire quirk? Oh, he's got a very powerful quirk, that's for sure. But no, nothing seemed to get to the boy's ego. He decided that once he broke enough robots, he was going to move to the back and try and pick off the last remaining ones. When he heard a massive rumbling, and he felt it in the ground too. He noticed it before anybody else did. He didn't know why. Maybe his senses were getting sharper. Izuku, there's something heading towards you. Very big. I know I can feel it. Then he saw, after 10 seconds of rumbling, he saw the giant robot. It was tall and looming over the buildings, quite absurd in its size. It's a 0-point robot? How are we supposed to fight that thing? It's so massive. I suggest you run. As they were about to run away from the 0-point robot, he heard a scream bellowing out from the rubble below the robot. It's the pink-haired girl. It's the same as her. She's trying to lift up the boulder, but the robot is pushing it back down on her. It's quite impressive. She's quite strong, but she obviously can't lift up something the size of a building. Izuku, without thinking, activates his Jin equip. Let's go, Horace. Full power, now. He gathers all his flames he possibly can as he flies up and fires the ball of condensed flames into the robot. Flames of purgatory! And shoots them forth, incinerating the robot's top half. Everybody is just in utter shock. This boy who thought their quirk was just fire and strength was actually a transformation quirk. He was able to transform into some weird god or creature with 3 eyes, red long hair, a sash that moves around their waist and body. What? Are you telling me he wasn't even using his quirk? He was just using a part of his quirk? He soon before he was starting to lose energy. My head. It can't use too much energy. I have to pick her up and get it down quickly. Otherwise, I can't hold this form for long. So he goes over towards the pink-haired girl and picks up the rubble and carries her over towards where the starter line is. As he puts her down, and she says, "Thank you for helping me. You saved me. I would have been crushed." "It's no problem. as Izuku um, passes out from the sheer strain of just using that much fire and energy from the Jin equip. It took a lot out of him. He didn't even know himself how much it took. The girl obviously worried for him, thinking that he hurt himself very badly. Recovery girl walks over towards him and is like, "Ah, he'll be alright, young lady. He's just a bit tired. I've seen this happen after I use my recovery quirk on people. I reckon a long rest should do him good. But if you don't mind, could you carry him to my office? I don't want him to be out in the cold. And yeah, have a lollipop. And do you want me to heal your ankle for you real quick, honey?" Yes, if you could. Don't worry about me carrying him. I'm a bit strong. The recovery girl uses her healing and heals up any of the participants. The pink-haired girl, well, red-haired, pinkish girl, picks up Izuku and carries him back to the office. He wakes up after about half an hour of sleeping. Wait, where am I? Ah, you're finally awake, I see. An old lady who calls herself Recovery Girl greeted the boy. You passed out after using too much of your quirk. My, was that an interesting one. Of all the participants I've seen over the course of the day, you are certainly the most interesting. The closest I can think of to a special quirk was a very loud boy with explosions. A troublesome one he was. I think he ended up singeing a bit of the costume that was provided. Anyway, are you alright? I assume that your quirk drains a bit of energy from you, just like my healing does when I ever heal someone. Yes, you're quite right. I was in a bit of fit of desperation, so I didn't know what to do, so I just fired all the flames I could conjure at once into the robot, and then I passed out from using too much energy. Well, at least we know what caused it, and at least you know to be careful next time, young man. Yes, sorry for the inconvenience. Well, as long as you not got broken bones, you're fine. Then she ushers him out of her office, saying, "Come on now, you must go back home. I'm sure you passed. You got quite a lot of points. I was watching you." Ah, thanks for watching. I hope I didn't mess up at all. You did fine. Now run along. I'm sure your parents must be sick. I gave them a call. I told them that you were just resting for a bit, so you might be a bit late. Oh, thank you. After the trio had their little chat, Izuku decided to run along home and tell his parents, what do you think? How do you think he went? So I think you might need to ask for an explanation. Oh well, you see, this girl was about to. I'm just kidding. How are you? Do you think you passed? Ah, Izuku his heart sunk a bit before, then finally came back to the surface. I think I did alright, Dad. Izuku and Hisashi pat him on the back and says, "Well, if you think you did alright, I'm sure you got in." So all three of them celebrate with a big dinner, and then in the next day, which was quite fast, he thought, he got a disc in an envelope from UA. "Young Midoriya, I am All Might. I am going to be a new teacher at UA, and I'm happy to say you have made it into Class 1A. With flying colours, I may add, you took top spot at all of the results. 63 hero points and 60 rescue points. A fine score of 123. What a fine young man you've shown to be ever since I met you that fateful day. Well, I look forward to being to being your teacher in the future. I'll see you next semester. He, he passed, he thought to himself. He really passed. He was confident about the power part because Horace was reassuring him that no human power could ever withstand a Jin's might. And he wasn't sure about himself. He kept being reassured at every corner, but he knew with the support from his family, and of course the one that won't be quiet, Horace in his head, he passed. He passed with flying colours. After sharing the good news, they all celebrate and all cheer loudly for the boy. And this is where I am going to leave off this chapter of the story. I am going to cover the USJ arc and possibly furthermore in the next part. But anyway, I'm going to leave it off right here, guys. Thank you again for watching if you made it all the way to the end. This is my first attempt at trying to do a semi-scripted, semi-non-scripted part, so I'm sorry for a bit of a pause here and there. It's also a bit late at night, so I'm a bit tired as well. Because for most of my audience who are in the US, I'm obviously Australian. Some people might not know, but for most of the states, I'm about 12 hours ahead. So your 1 in the afternoon would be 1 in the morning for me. So I'm going to cut it here and say King of Underworld is out.